A man walks into a bar and sees a jar full of $100 bills, so he asks the bartender why there is so much money in the jar. The bartender replies that it is a bet, and you have to pay $100 to participate. The bet consists of 3 tests. The first test: you see that man sitting back there? His name is Big Jim. He stands 6 feet 5 inches feet, 2 meters, and weighs 551 pounds, 250 kilograms. You have to knock him out. The second test: if you pass the first test, you have to get out of the bar, where Big Jim's dog is. You have to remove a tooth from it. The third test: if you pass the second test, you have to go on the second floor, where Big Jim's mom, an 85-year-old woman who never reached an You have to like you have never done before. If you pass the 3 tests, all the money in the jar will be yours, but I warn you, no one has ever managed to win the bet. At this point, the man gives up and orders the bartender to give him some whiskey. After a few drinks, the man, completely drunk, says, "You, I will take the bet," and puts $100 on the bar counter. Staggering, he walks over to Big Jim and kicks him in the balls, knocking him out. He remembers the second test, gets out of the bar and faces Big Jim's dog. At first, the dog started to growl, then it started to howl, and then silence. A few seconds later, the man returns to the bar and asks the bartender, "And now where is the old woman whose tooth I have to remove?" A blind man enters a ladies' bar by mistake. He finds his way to a bar stool and orders a drink. After sitting there for a while, he yells to the bartender, "Hey, you want to hear a blonde joke?" The bar immediately falls absolutely quiet. In a very deep, husky voice, the woman next to him says, "Before you tell that joke, sir, you should know 5 things. 1. The bartender is a blonde girl. 2. The bouncer is a blonde girl. 3. I'm a 6-foot-tall, 200-pound blonde woman with a black belt in karate. 4. The woman sitting next to me is blonde and is a professional weightlifter. 5. The lady to your right is a blonde and is a professional wrestler. Now think about it seriously, mister. Do you still want to tell that joke?" The blind man thinks for a second, shakes his head, and says, "Nah, not if I'm going to have to explain it 5 times. A guy walks into a bar and asks for a beer. "That'll be $5, says the bartender, and the guy throws 20 quarters onto the floor. Reluctantly, the bartender picks up the coins and serves the beer. The next day, the guy comes into the bar, asks for a beer, throws 20 quarters onto the floor, etc. The next day again. On the 4th day, he asks for a beer and hands the bartender a $10 bill. The bartender takes advantage of his chance for revenge, throws 20 quarters onto the floor and yells, "Here's your change." The guy looks down at the coins and says, "I'll have another beer, please."